Hello everyone, today I want to automate every basic resource and put it straight into the warehouse. I got a bit of a start on this, but one, it looks like a mess, so it needs to be cleaned up. And two, we are missing a lot of items. For example, we're only putting in plates and not the rods, for example. Similar to copper, we're not making any copper items. And I think this can be boosted, perhaps? Well, maybe not, because the conveyors are just too slow. But the rubber belts at the very least could, because we can have multiple rubber producers going. During this project, I'll be placing down more of the fertilizers. That way we also get our objectives done. Of course, that would also mean more work, because we unlock more deposits. But I suppose all that is good. So let's see, how do we want to do this? There's a lot of iron deposits here, that is good. Which means we can have one reserved for, well, plates, for regular iron, for the gears, for the rods, even one specifically for beams, and I think I'm going to use these two here on this little island for that. There's also quartz over there, which is really good, because we can cut back the copper a lot sooner and maybe make circuit boards, like all the way out there, and then have them transferred here. But alright, instead of talking about it, let's actually do something. We need a ton of glass panes and cables. That is also something we have to work on. I think I'm going to set up those supplies first, just so we don't really have to deal with them, and we can automatically create everything for the warehouses, because that will inevitably speed things up, unless I want to sit here for 12 hours crafting glass panes. Which, as fun as it sounds, I don't want to do. You know, I like the low gravity quite a lot. It is a lot of fun to just jump around. Alright, my question is gonna be, are we able to place down the warehouse on this island? I think so. Yeah, I think on this side there isn't a whole lot, but this entire island can just have its own warehouse. It might go over the edge a little, but I think that is alright. Okay, that is maybe not a little, that's like all of it. But hey, I guess technically it doesn't really matter anyway. Ooh, we also have basalt here. Alright, first things first, we need a base just to survive out here. We're not producing enough power, that is another problem. Alright, what I want to do is I want to cut off the copper for right now. This will have to go into a forge pretty much right away. So I want to get circuit boards in here, the glass in here. Of course, I also want to get the iron beams in here. And silica, just so we don't have to worry about anything related to quartz. That sounds like a good idea. What doesn't sound like a good idea is that I of course need the assembly machine for this. And more circuit boards. Alright, we're running into an issue where we need rods. Yeah, we're not producing any iron on this island. And rods are also not going into the system, of course. Gotta admit, that's a bottleneck I did not think about. Alright, I got the rods, and I think a smart thing to do is to set up some of the base materials first, including the iron, just so we don't have this same issue again. So let's do that right away. Let me get that smelted. So at least now we have access to all of that. And then we're going to need more gears. That was not something I wanted to make on this island, so we're going to have to do that manually. So something I want to know is they have these conveyor splitters. They have multiple types. I don't see the point of the merger per se. That always did what you wanted, because it always went out to one point. I mean, for aesthetic's sake, maybe. But these should be pretty good. And they're also cheaper than the old ones, because they do one less output, of course. So I want the silica to split, because one part I want directly into the warehouse, and then the other one I want to have go through this assembly. I know what I just said about doing the basic stuff first, and well, you see how that goes, I suppose. I'm not good at keeping my word for that. But ultimately, we're going to need this anyway. Let's also have a splitter on the copper, and then we need a part producer. Yeah, this is where we run into some issues again. Alright, well, we have a copper output anyway. I may as well also make the cables here. I would love to put a splitter on this for the plates, but I think we'll do that somewhere else. Alright, this next one's gonna be pretty easy. Literally just basalt. And that can be hooked straight up. And for the next one, I'm gonna have to find this other iron node. It's supposedly somewhere over here. Is it covered up by the rock, perhaps? Alright, let's delete that. Yeah, it was. It was hiding underneath this rock. Alright, then we need another forge. So now that we have 2 iron inputs, we're gonna have to make a couple part producers, which are gonna be expensive as heck. But at least you can now set it to craft as much as you want, which is nice, because this used to be kept at 30 crafts. And while for slow items, it doesn't really matter. For example, these iron rods are going pretty fast, so being able to make more is a lot easier. And because rods are kind of our nemesis, I'm gonna hook those up first. I heard a pop-up, but I don't see what it was. I imagine it's the meteor again. Let's see what he breaks down this time. Oh, also, we have enough to make a second. Well, never mind, I suppose. Alright, so it's gonna hit the one next to the ice island? No, it's just gonna miss. But another ice island came up. But that seems to be this one, so yeah, it does temporarily disable islands. However, the new cutscene, well, or at least the cutscene, didn't show which one got taken down in that meantime. Not that it matters much right now, it doesn't seem like it's an island we're using, because we only have the starting island. And I kinda doubt that those will go down. I do wonder though what happens if you're on the island, or if that can even happen. I also kinda doubt that that is possible. It probably chooses an island where you're currently not. Alright, let's create plates in this one. And then we need another one of the assembling machines. Now luckily, this time we're creating most of the things automatically. So we can immediately make the computer. Make 4 rotors. And we're semi-auto crafting the stuff for the iron beams. We just don't have them in our inventory or in the warehouses. We'll place the big boy down. And let's auto-craft the iron beams. And put those into the warehouse. So this island is nice and operational. It will produce all these items over time. Iron beams, they go a little slow. It's kind of always the case though. Alright, next up I want to get one of these, the ground fertilizers in. Just to kind of spruce up the island quite nicely. Shove the pipe in there, and that will be working. This entire island is going to go green. The warehouses are filling up quite nicely. Yeah, so let's remove this quartz line. Slap a drill onto this. Get some smelters ready. Also for the quartz. Now we're going to need a couple part producers, which require gears. What I'm thinking of doing is making this iron node into a gear deposit. Sweet, we unlocked a new terraformation stage. As well as a material analyzer. Is there any sulfur nearby? No. Not on our starting island. Honestly, that could be kind of a problem. Unless this cave has sulfur. Or maybe one back here. Because I think we needed it in order to make batteries. And batteries is of course what we need to power the ship back up so we can fly around. But ultimately that is a problem for another day. Alright, we're now producing gears automatically. Let's do the same with the glass panes. And then we need 30 of these anyway in order to make our warehouse. So I'm thinking of snagging the cobalt deposit that's up the mountain here in the meantime. Low gravity though makes it a lot easier to scale these cliffs. That's for dang sure. Let's bring this down. Now that we have the glass panes, make one of those and start hooking things up. Now we do have an open spot here and there is a rock. So I'm thinking we may as well utilize this and make the cement here too, because we have the open spot anyway. All we have to do for that is drill the rocks, make it go through a forge. Forge will automatically create cement, and cement can go into the warehouse until we need it at some point in our lives. And then it has one more spot open. I don't think we can do anything with the cobalt, but I do have another idea. And that involves the water collector once again. So let's see, I do want to have a split in this because I, of course, again, want to fertilize the ground here. We're going to need some solar panels too. Oh sweet, we can immediately make large solar panels. If we have refined cobalt, that is. Alright, for our next plan, we also need the greenhouse. Right, now we have an infinite amount of organics, so we can make food wherever we want. And with that, all the spots have been filled up. Right, we can delete a couple lines from this. For example, the copper and silica. I guess technically the cement as well. We can just get rid of all of this. Alright, there's 3 different iron ore deposits around. We should be able to, yes, automatically place down a warehouse. Nice. I'm gonna place one over here. And then put a drill on this iron deposit. I'm gonna have this go through a splitter because we do sometimes require ore and I never have that in the system, nor do I ever have it in my pocket. And now we do, so that is good. And then this other one can create rods. And then the question is, do I have regular stones going into any system? I don't think so, right? So we might just mine this tiny piece of rock here and just have that go straight in there as well. Alright, this plate situation is probably gonna have to be moved as well. So let's draw an entire line towards this location. Part producer will be creating the plates. And those will go into the warehouse. And again, we do have one open spot. I think I'm gonna put in regular rubber. Now I was thinking of deleting this one. But honestly, I think I might just keep it. We're gonna move out of this area at some point anyway. It doesn't seem like we need more rubber belts currently, and this is already full anyway. This is backing up quite nicely as well. We do need more wind turbines though, but then again, when don't we? Alright, let me check if I missed something. Copper plates, that is what we're missing. But I think that's alright, because I also want to get computers up and running automatically too. That requires copper as well. This process can take a little while setting everything up, but it's going to be so helpful once it's done. Alright, let's see. We have a quartz deposit here. That's good. We need one of those. Bring that all the way over here towards a smelter. And for a computer, we need cables as well as the circuit boards. That's why we needed the silica. We do have copper deposits here, so we just slap one of these on there. This one's going to create plates for us. However, that's going to be split, of course. And part of it will go into an assembly machine, which we need more stuff for. Rotors is something I didn't think about, but that is probably also something we want to set up. But let's have the plates go into the warehouse already. That way we at least did one of the things we wanted. Let's see, this requires cables and rubber belts. I think that's good because computers also required cables. So we're gonna have a cable output anyway. So then all we need is to set up a rubber line. But that shouldn't be too difficult either. This will create the circuit boards. Then we need another advanced rafter. We'll put that up here for now. That gets the circuit boards as well as cables, and then we'll make computers. Let's see, where's the other one? There's the copper vein. We're getting to the point where building all this is becoming easier and easier because we're slowly setting up all the supply lines we need. So if you want to see progression, this early game setup is definitely something you want to do because it will feel pretty darn good. Alright, we produce copper wire in here, or copper cable. What did we need to do with the copper cable again? I know we had to do something else with it. Right, the rotors. Alright, computers are being made automatically now. So put that in there too. Alright, let's see. We need another one of these assembly machines. Wish I saw that we didn't have the rotors for that sooner. That would save me a small trip. Alright, for all the rubber, you know the drill. We're going to need a greenhouse, which means water collector. How much does a greenhouse need? Because it doesn't feel like a lot. I could maybe get away with 2 greenhouses on 1 collector. Okay, it's slightly over demand. I wish we could see which island is going to be taken down, because they're going back up, which is good to know. But we don't know which next one is being whisked away. Alright, well, it's slightly overpowered, but I don't think it matters much for the production. It still seems to be going pretty fast. 55 per minute, I think the base was 60. Yeah, that's definitely going fast. Plenty fast enough. Each one of these is going to have their own conveyor, though. Their own part producer. And both of these will create a rubber. Rubber is pretty slow to produce, which is why I have 2 on there. Then we'll take a merger. That will merge all the rubber together, and that rubber will be turned into rubber belts. And then I need more rotors to make more assembly machines. However, these should be the last rotors I would have to create. Manually, anyway. It looks kind of weird over here. It's like very twisty and turny. I do kind of like it, though, in a weird way. Copper cables go in. The rubber belts go in. Means rotors can be crafted. And then the rotors, they'll go all the way down into the warehouse. The circuit boards seem to be going kind of slow at the moment, but that's because the copper plates are being split. Now once this fills up, that should go a lot faster. Well, twice the speed, basically. Is there anything else around here that we want to plug in? I don't think so. Alright, there we go. Regular quartz is something we're not making. Actually, just copper ore we also don't have. But we'll slot that in somewhere else. I don't think we need it at the moment. We're just going to break up a line here and add a splitter to it. That's the simplest way to get the quartz. There's a couple things like the antenna that I could be auto-crafting, but I don't really think we need to, because you don't need them that often. And if we ever decide to do it, I may as well do it on this island, I think. Right, with that, I think we have everything automated now. So the next things that we decide to do should go a lot smoother. The area fertilizer is up next. Now I think we cannot make that yet by the looks of it. We probably need the sulfur for it, right? I'm unsure because it doesn't really want to show me. However, we can go to the next objective. And here it doesn't show either. Were we able to make that material analyzer yet? No, we need sensor arrays. I think those costed gold? There was something with them anyway. Yeah, that requires gold. So that's off the table for now. Gold is only found in hot biomes. You know, I'm gonna go out to this cave here and this one over there, and I'm gonna check for some. Because there's no way this island doesn't have any sulfur. Because there's no way we can make this gap otherwise. Well, I mean, technically, I suppose we can build over to it. I'm just not sure if that is the intended way. Sulfur? Yes, there is some right here. Yep, that unlocked the area fertilizer. Also unlocked the refiner. Because we need filters for that. Now, we could refine cobalt with that, which is something else we would need to do. We didn't get a lot, though. We only got 13 in total. Actually, never mind, there's more here. Well, there wasn't a whole lot more. Now we're at 17. But there was another cave over here at the other side. Yep, no sulfur to be found. There's some more caves at the end here. But I think we're good for now. Because now that we can make filters, I'm gonna make 4 real quick. We can make a refiner. And with the refiner, we can make refined cobalt. It does require some water, though. And this needs to be split. Ooh, and it actually also unlocked the vehicle cell. That's good, because that is what we need. Ooh, tier 2. We're actually unlocking everything good, man. Tier 2 warehouse, as well as the rocket silo. This will now run at 100% capacity. Nice. Let's hook this up to the warehouse, all the way back here. Into the final slot. And that is good because that means we are not wasting any space. For the vehicle energy cell, it's actually not that expensive. 10 refined cobalt, that's on its way right now. I honestly think this is the first thing we have to craft with the sulfur, because we could potentially fuck ourselves over and soft lock ourselves on this island, unless we want to build for 10 hours. But we have to get here as soon as possible. Then we can set up the sulfur deposits. We also need it for the filters, so we probably set up filters automatically too. The rocket silo, what does that need? Basalt concrete is the only thing we're not producing. And we don't have enough iron beams in the system because we're not going over 180. So in order to get more than 180 as the max the warehouses can carry, we need the tier 2 warehouse. Building 5 of these will boost the maximum stack up to, well, 50 more. So then we need basalt concrete. I don't think that was that difficult either, was it? I just don't remember exactly where. The refiner. Yeah, that's not that bad. We won't be doing that today, though. For now, though, I hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.